Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. I am back. Got knocked off, but I'm gonna come back, and I may have to just start all over again. So no harm, no harm foul. And I was really rolling, so I'll see if I can dig into the cranium and pull back, what I was saying. But as I posted, sorry, I greet you in the words of BB48, African liberation. But my previous video before it was cut off, I was talking about unpacking your shit, and I was making references to remember the movie Tales from the Hood, and Clarence Williams is like, "Ooh, you want the shit? Ooh, you'll be knee deep in this shit." Well, some of us are knee deep in the shit. Some of us are so knee deep in the shit we don't even know how to get out. Um, and it's time to unpack that. And what I mean, unpack your shit. I mean, learning to deal with what has kept you bound. With me, to be transparent with my audience, because like I said, sometimes we follow people, and that's a very strong word. Follow, follow. I have followers on YouTube. I have followers on Instagram. Follow, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a leader because I once knew how to be a great follower. I'm still a follower, but I follow wise people. I don't just follow anybody. And my discernment is always, I'm always working on it. So sometimes that word follow. So to sometimes we come on and we hear these YouTube personalities because that's all you getting is the YouTube personality. Be it Dumb Pharaoh, be it Umar Take Your Dollar Johnson or Where My Money Johnson, to whoever you can think of. You follow this person, right? But how much do you actually know about this person? How transparent? Hell, we see. Speaking of Umar, you see, you can't even ask him a critical question without him getting uptight and cussing the people out. And this is what we need to learn: the Iwa Pele, the character, the character. Because some of us we think we're gonna fantasize our way to freedom, or we think we're gonna buy our way to freedom or liberation. But you know where the first steps of freedom start? In here and within. Um, and I used to have an ex that always told me about going within. She said, "Go within, go within." But what is within when you go in? Make sense what I'm saying? You go within yourself, but are you dealing with what's within yourself? Or are you just going within like a turtle going in the shell to escape the outside? Dig on it. Dig on it. So a lot of times we want to surface do shadow work, or we want to make a connection to somebody that's already established, especially females. Now, first of all, I advocate for my sisters more than anybody that I know. Now, I ain't gonna say more than just anybody, but a lot more than anybody I know. I can't go back and say that. So there's no sexism in me, there's no misogyny in me, there's no hatred of black women in me because I come from an amazing black woman. I came from an amazing black woman. So that could never be. And sometimes we have to make statements. But sometimes, you know, our sisters have been conditioned to, as I call it, this housewife syndrome, to where they feel like dudes are just supposed to take care of them. Just supposed to take care of them. They show up, be cute, and somebody's supposed to take care of them for just having children. Or somebody's supposed to take care of them just because they're tired of working, or they've worked all their lives. Now, nothing wrong with helping your sisters out and taking care once you in that union with that sister. But sisters, y'all are mightier than you ever could understand. Stop looking for somebody to take care of you. Because if they take care of you, if they're not on their real masculine energy or their masculine self, they feel like they own you, or they feel like you owe them, or they feel like, you get where I'm going? So sometimes owning your shit is what I'm saying. We have a lot of people that play the victim. It's always a victim, always a victim. It's always somebody else's fault of why they didn't make it. It's always somebody else's fault of why they're going through what they're going through. It's always somebody else's fault. I'm leery. Sometimes I listen to people, females or males, and you listen to their past experiences in their relationships, and they always just blame it on the other person. But have you, speaking of going within, have you dealt with what's on the inside when you go within? Make sense what I'm talking about? Have you dealt with your shit from third grade? We cover it up with jobs, money. A lot of times females cover it up with their bodies. So shit, I know they say they know they fine. They know they can catch a man. But all of these are physical things. Excuse me. All of these are physical things. That's why, when I made the video about the dude, Kevin Samuels, and I talk about the females that call him. And if we listen close, I can't speak because I'm not a fan of him and I don't listen to all of his material, so I don't know. But from the vast majority of what I have heard that's being shared, the females that call in, they're always talking about something physical. They're always talking about how they're like the one he did that was looking for a dude with 6 figures. And she was like, "Can you see me?" She said, "I'm a 6 when I got my face on, but I'm a 5 without it." She said, "Can you see me?" because she thought highly of her body. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes, and a lot of times dudes do it too. We ain't gonna escape y'all. You use your money to attract women. Women use their bodies to attract men and then say, all y'all men want is sex. And then the dudes in return say, all females want is money. But, you get your money so you can go out and impress who? The females. Well, some of them is trying to impress dudes nowadays. And there's a lot of that. But the point, what I'm saying is, take away those physical things. Who are you? Take away your big breast, sisters. Take away your big behind. Take away that cash knot you got, brother. Take away your good sex game. Who are you? Take away whatever physical thing that attracts people to you or makes you think you're attractive. Who are you? Who are these people you follow? What is their character like? My character's good. And I'm not even going to do, because I told my great brother Sincere, I said, we got to stop using this disclaimer, because what we do, we throw out a disclaimer and say, well, I ain't perfect. Because we always have to stay in that state of feeling like, well, I can't, how are we African and saying we deal with the scales of my yacht, but we're talking about we don't judge? Judgment is a part of everything. You make judgments when you drive. You make judgments when you buy food. You make judgments based on the people that you deal with, but it's how you judging them. So for me coming up, I'm 39 now. So for me coming up, childhood was okay. I can't flex like I had a terrible childhood. I didn't deal with physical abuse. I had a verbally abusive grandmother. I had a grandmother that made it obvious that she chose favorites in grandchildren. So those are some of the issues I dealt with. I have cerebral palsy, CP. So I was judged. I'm still being judged. I was judged. The children didn't want to play with me. The girls weren't as, checking for me. So this created pockets because of how I am now. When I grew up, I'm either one way or I'm other. Very seldom you're gonna get a lot of middle, playing the middle out of me. There are times where we can stand in the middle and balance it, but for the most, in my opinion, you either one way or you the other. So to the sisters that I ever liked, if I was okay, and this video ever gets viral and you know who you are, I mean, I'm not even talking about the sister I was in a long relationship with. I'm just talking about ones that I liked. And I may have seemed like I came across as too much. I mean, because sometimes, I'm learning. And that's why I said, we always act like we are these master people. Like, we're so in tune with every part of our life. Stop it. Stop it. You may have mastered certain parts of yourself, but I haven't met not one person in my 39 years that have fully mastered everything about themselves. If they are, I haven't met them. So I'm constantly mastering. I'm 39 and I still get shy when I like a female. But those are the things that was ripped away because we so busy want to love like our oppressor. Where we feel like, oh man, you feel that way? Oh, you feel softness? Blah, 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 blah. You know that jab of Negroes we talking about. I feel softness. So when I like a sister and I'm over the top, that means I like her. If I'm kind of, standoffish or back, it doesn't mean I don't like her, but it doesn't mean, it means I don't feel a connection as most. And that's fair game. Because sisters judge me every day. I'm like 5'6". I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm a fearless warrior. I'm able to speak things because sometimes I feel like we put so much on physical. I know brothers that are 6 foot, whatever, and they are scared to just say the truth. I know a lot of sisters that they have this one according type, but they dealt with so much abandonment from these types. They feel so unprotected from these types. So I want to lay out what I'm saying and hope that, people pick it up. It's either you have it in you, either you have it in you to protect black women, whether you 4'11" or whether you 6'8", you have it. Either you have it or you don't. I'm trying to get away from, because sometimes you feel kind of like people just judge you because you're not according to this, because I'm not physically what a sister would look for. But mentally, intellectually, spiritually, oh, I'm grand champ. Because I'm owning my shit. I've learned to own my abandonment issues. So back to those sisters, if I ever made any of y'all sisters feel like I was just too clingy, I dealt with a lot. I dealt with the loss of my brother. I dealt with the loss of best friends that was, good friends that was there for me. Because when you have a condition, people treat you bad. They treat you as if you're like this liability that somebody's got to watch you. And to my last relationship, I was taken through hurdles, only to be proven not to be good enough in the end. And I'm not gonna kick the sister back in or say anything, but it's truth. It's not my truth, it's truth. The family didn't like me much because the ignorance that was put out was, you're gonna have to take care of him. People are gonna, you're gonna end up resenting him because he has a condition, and nobody had to take care of me. I drive. I have a son. I have next generation grandchildren. My mental is intact, but it's all on this physical bubble that we perceive the normalness of people, if that makes sense what I just said. So when people say, when I'm coming at whatever person that's misleading our people, and people say you hear my cat in the background, um, and people are saying you're judging. There's a difference between judging and telling the truth. And it's up to one to discern. But I was judged by a family. I never was given a fair chance. That sister loved me with pockets. She loved me. She cared about me. But you kind of feel like a person is always just looking for a way out. So it's kind of like the victim blame. They're gonna find every way to kind of blame you and say that you're this or you're that. Now I was, sometimes I can be an uptight warrior. Sometimes because of those abandonment issues that comes out. You know, and I'm being transparent with my people, talking about what's inside of me. I can come out and judge everybody else and blast everybody else and drop videos about Umar, drop videos about Tariq Nasheed, who's a fool, but what about me? What about when it's my turn to get exposed? And they say, oh, Boston didn't tell you he ought to liken the porn. Yes. But in your growth, you said these things. And people can edit it and blow it up and make it say I said what I said. I put it out there because you can't whoop my ass with it if I expose it. I'm unpacking your shit, growing to the next level, dealing with matters of the heart. You have hearts, black men. Stop saying you cold. I'm cold. I'm a cold hearted. When you cold, you're dead. We gotta be careful what we saying. Everybody want to act like they just these nonchalant, stoic type people. We wasn't designed to be like that. We came from lovers. We came from proudful people. We came from proud people. Let me fix that up. I have issues with my self-esteem. And then, which is why, no, Cat Williams is one of my favorite comedians. But in some of his some of his comedy shows, I felt like some of the talk came across as gibberish and rhetoric. Now I could be wrong, meaning like that's called self-esteem. You're not in charge. People damage your self-esteem every day. So it's hard to have low. I mean, even though sometimes the people with the money are the ones with the lowest self-esteem. But when you're rich and you can buy what you want to buy, your self-esteem gets a little bit higher. But sometimes, and like I said, I love Cat Williams, so this is not a knock. I love that brother. That brother's one of the funniest comedians to me. But sometimes I deal with everything. If you would have never made it, my brother, and you just would have been an average brother from wherever you're from, I don't know where my guy's from, but how high would your self-esteem be if you still had no teeth? And the women wasn't just checking for you. So sometimes we got to learn to, sometimes, like I said in the beginning, we'll talk about going within. But are you dealing with what's in? Are you dealing with your attitude? Are you dealing with your resentment? Are you dealing with your past fears? Are you dealing with being deadbeat dads? Are you dealing with abortions that you had? Are you dealing with the child abuse that you may suffer, the sexual abuse? Stop covering that shit up. Let it out. People judge you every day. People judge me when I walk past people. First thing people think is I'm stupid. That's the first thing people think a lot of times when you have a disability. And sometimes people will actually just talk down to you, and they'll talk to you like you're stupid. And then when you open your mouth and they're like, I didn't expect that to come out because I earned that right. So in 2021, after dealing with the death of my mother, who was my best friend, like that was my rock, my ace. It's just me. I have extended family, but I really don't have any family. It's just me. And I can't crumble and I'm never gonna fold because she didn't make me that way. She'd be more disappointed if I fold or folded. So sometimes this is just a thing of, like I said, unpacking your shit. Unpacking my fears of talking to females that I really like. Unpacking saying what I've never had a problem with saying or what I feel in my heart. Never. Uh, Speaking my mind, I've never had a problem with that. But unpacking the confidence in myself to get it done. Unpacking the past pain. Thank that sister. I thank my last ex. Thank you if you ever see this video. Thank you. We had good times. We had good times. Thank you. To every sister that laughed at me, that thank you. To every brother that dissed me and didn't want to be a partner or didn't want to be a friend or this, or partners that just up and bounced. Thank you. Because I'm learning to deal with it. I haven't dealt with it all. It's an ongoing process. As my great brother Sincere would say, we act like healing. We treat healing like it's a destination. No. It's an ongoing event. It's an ongoing process. I'm healing. I'm healed in certain areas, but I'm still healing. So, and let's not think because you're healed in one area that you can't relapse. So I just wanted to come and just share a little bit who I am and make more personal videos. A lot of times, we get caught up in the views. Sometimes I look and nobody look at the videos. There's 0 views. That's fine. Because even though I want people to look and you kind of want that validation and you want people to kind of critique your videos and tell them what they think, or you want to see what people feel about your videos, actually the validation is just, we can't get so caught up in the validation. So just because I have no views doesn't mean it's a failure because you had the heart to do it. Learning to love myself is what I'm busy trying to do. I have locks, and I was telling one of my best friends last night. I was telling her, I said I forgot what self-care looked like because you actually can love a person more than you love yourself, and we just have to be careful not to fall in those pockets. Nobody is stupid. Nobody is this because sometimes we'll judge people. We'll say, "You stupid for dealing with that person," or "You're stupid." Sometimes people is, and sometimes we're not understanding when we're doing this. Let me see if you see the fingers. What are those fingers doing? They're pointing back to you. Sometimes you're the person that somebody's stupid for dealing with. So when we throwing them rocks and we saying these things, we just acting like our shit just all intact. Who are you as a person? How do you treat people? How do you treat people when you're not on social media? We talk about a lot of times what we did in the past, but what are you doing constantly? What are you doing in the moment? My eating habits isn't where they should. I'm not gonna jump out and flex. Sometimes we act like we just these complete Africans, we these vegans and all of this. No, I ain't no vegan. I eat chicken. And sometimes we act like that makes us. That's the pinnacle of us. Sometimes we're eating healthy, but the shit that we haven't dealt with is just as toxic. You might as well eat a chicken sandwich because the way you are is just as toxic as that chicken. Make sense? So that's just a couple of things. I'm not gonna overrun because I know people don't really like to look at long videos. But I leave you in how I greeted you in the term of Bibi Fahodier. African liberations to African people, to everybody else. Peace.